The Pittsburgh Steelers have made 10 cuts in preparation for Tuesday's cut deadline. Going to be breaking down those 10 names for you guys here in just a second. But first, this is why you subscribe to the channel. We're going to be having extensive cut day coverage throughout the week. Of course, tomorrow by 4 p.m. Eastern Time, the Steelers need to get to 53 players on their active roster. And then we'll also be going over the guys that they keep on their practice squad as well. And right now, the trade rumors are kind of getting hot for the Pittsburgh Steelers as well, even after the Kevin Dotson trade. So I'm looking at this is going to be a really exciting news-filled week for the black and gold. If you want all the updates leading into week 1 of the 2023 season for your Pittsburgh Steelers, click that subscribe button for me right now. All right, so now let's talk about Monday's cuts here. The surprise of the day, I would say, was Tanner Muse, the inside linebacker. Some people thought he was going to be sticking around as more of a special teams piece. Then you got Kenny Robinson, Lavert Hill, Toby and Ndukwe. A little bit of a surprise there that the Steelers didn't want him back on the practice squad because he had a pretty nice game against the Atlanta Falcons. Tanner Morgan, the fourth-string quarterback, pretty much confirms Mason Rudolph will be back as the number 3 quarterback. That was to be expected. Then Lavert Clark, William Dunkle, Darius Hagans, Jalen Elliott, and Manny Jones were the rest of the cuts made today by GM Omar Khan. Now let's talk about some of these here for a little bit, starting with Tanner Muse, who I did project to make my final 53-man roster. It's the only person so far that I had making it, not make it so far. And the reason why I thought that Tanner might make the team was because of that special teams ability, plus he has the versatility to play linebacker and safety, so that depth and versatility I thought might have been a little bit more valuable to Omar Khan and Mike Tomlin. And now with Tanner Muse gone, that means Nick Kwiatkowski has a better shot to make the final 53-man roster. But, it's definitely a chance that he still gets cut because you can definitely say right now that the Pittsburgh Steelers have 4 really good inside linebackers, and they might be good with rolling with 4 linebackers here heading into the 2023 season. You take a look at the depth chart right now. They're going to be rotating Cole Holcomb, Elandon Roberts, and Quan Alexander in there, mostly because Elandon Roberts isn't good in pass coverage. You're going to put Quan Alexander in those situations where you want 2 linebackers on the field and you want some coverage out there. But Elandon Roberts, really good run defender, really good blitzer. And then you also have Mark Robinson, who's been shown to be a pretty darn good backup linebacker here. So it'll be interesting to see if they keep Nick Kwiatkowski. I do expect them to cut Chappelle Russell or at least keep him on the practice squad here by tomorrow's deadline. Then another cut here, Kenny Robinson, a fan favorite, Pittsburgh native here. Really showed out in training camp, had multiple days where he was really flashing. Some people thought he might make the practice squad. And then during the preseason, 13 tackles, and he had a fumble recovery as well. But it seemed like his preseason performance against the Falcons wasn't enough to seal the deal for him to make a practice squad spot. And now he has officially been waived by GM Omar Khan. And then another cut here that I kind of saw coming and that we've definitely been projecting here. Lavert Clark, somebody that you bring in to be a swing tackle this year, is ending up getting cut. Did not have a good training camp. Did not look good in practices or in the preseason games. And Dylan Cook, somebody that was expected to be behind Lavert Clark in the pecking order coming into the year, really showed out in training camp. And it's going to be interesting to see if the Steelers hold on to Cook as a 4th offensive tackle. Of course, you got Dan Moore Jr., you got Chukwuma Okorafor, and you got the first-round rookie Broderick Jones. Most teams carry 4 offensive tackles, so Dylan Cook would definitely be the obvious answer there if they want to keep 4 offensive tackles on this 53-man roster. Now, let me know what you guys think about Dylan Cook down there in the comment section. Do you think he makes this final roster? Give me a yes or give me a no. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's show. So whenever YouTube throws you an ad break here, it's going to happen here in just a couple of seconds. Take advantage of that time by giving me a yes or no and answer today's pinned question. All right, so let's talk about some of the latest Steelers rumors because after the Kevin Dotson trade yesterday to the Los Angeles Rams, there's some rumors going around that Omar Khan might not be done. So could the GM here, Omar Khan, make another trade here before the start of the 2023 season? I certainly think that's possible, but if you want to see my breakdown of yesterday's trade of Kevin Dotson heading to the Los Angeles Rams for a couple of pick upgrades in the next 2 NFL drafts, I'm going to put that link down in the comments and description of today's video. But as for another trade that could potentially happen, here are 3 guys that could eventually get traded here before Tuesday's deadline. Montravius Adams, Armon Watts, and Kendrick Green. Now, we'll talk about these guys individually. Let's talk about Montravius Adams, who right now was listed as the starting nose tackle for the Pittsburgh Steelers on their current unofficial depth chart. However, you got Braden Fajoku and Keanu Benton in there. If we can take a look at that depth chart right now, I mean, I think Fajoku is probably the best true nose tackle, best true run defender here. And then you got Keanu Benton in there, who you really believe in as well. So if a team wants to come in and they're really desperate for a nose tackle, Montravius has experience playing in this league. And obviously, I think the Steelers believe in him quite a bit if they're going to keep him at the top of this depth chart. So he's a name to keep in mind. And then also Armon Watts, with the rise of Isaiah Loudermilk and DeMarvin Leal, and also Braden Fajoku for that matter, during this process, during training camp, there might not be room for Armon Watts on this roster. He's a veteran piece that some teams might really want to have as kind of a rotational pass rusher from the inside. He might have some trade value, and he might go elsewhere as well. Now, we're going to talk about Kendrick Green here in just a second, and whether or not I think they should trade him and whether or not I think they should cut him. But before I go over the backup center for the Pittsburgh Steelers, go ahead and check out our friends at BetUS, and they're offering you guys a fantastic deal just in time for the start of the 2023 NFL campaign. A 125% deposit bonus when you go chatsports.com/bet and use promo code Steelers125. Now, what does that mean? Deposit bonus. That means if you put in $100 or to $600 on their website, they're going to give you 125% of that money back to you to use on your bet. So if you put in $100, they're going to give you $125 additional dollars to use on your bet. So $225 total. And I know that I love sports betting. I think it's a great way to make a little bit of money. It makes the games a lot more interesting, in my opinion. Not that I need anything to be more interesting. I love football, but man, this just puts a little bit more juice in there. So if you want to get that juice in your Steelers fan experience this year, go to chatsports.com/bet and use Steelers125 as the promo code to get that 125% deposit bonus. So now let's talk about Kendrick Green. And I think you guys know, if you've been watching the channel, you guys know how I feel about Kendrick Green. I don't think he's a very good player. He's not an NFL offensive lineman. He's got the athleticism to be a starter in this league. That's why he was drafted in the 3rd round just a couple of seasons ago. But here's the thing, man. I think if you can trade him, absolutely do it, even if it's for a 7th rounder. Because right now, honestly, I don't think he's good enough for any team to bite. You know, I think that, if you can get a 7th round pick for him, that is an absolute steal, because this guy just straight up sucks, in my opinion, man. If no trade happens, I say absolutely cut him. I'm perfectly okay with Nate Herbig being the backup center for the Pittsburgh Steelers. If we take a look at the Steelers depth chart along the offensive line here, right now Kendrick Green is listed as the number 2 center, but he has not played well during preseason. He has not played well during training camp practices. And right now you got Nate Herbig, who I think is who can play center. You also got Isaac Seumalo and James Daniels, who can move over to center if needed. I really don't think you need a Kendrick Green on this roster heading into the year. And I think that moving forward, I think that he should not be a member of the Pittsburgh Steelers, even on practice squad. Now, predict it for me down there in the comment section. What do you think is going to happen to Kendrick Green here before the start of the 2023 season? Do you think he makes this team? Type HY for hell yes, or type HN if you think hell no. That'll be it for me today. Steelers fans, really do appreciate all the support. If they make a cut today, if they make more cuts here on Monday, I will have another video for you guys, so make sure you click that subscribe button. Then we're also going to have you guys covered with every single move made by the Black and Gold throughout this week. Of course, tomorrow it is cut day, so if you want our extensive cut day coverage for tomorrow, make sure you click that subscribe button. That'll be it for me today, guys. Appreciate all the support. I will see you guys later, and as always, here we go, Steelers.